Are you still pouring a glass of milk every morning because you believe it keeps your bones strong? If you're over 60, pause for a second, especially if you've been dealing with high creatinine, waking up several times at night to urinate, swollen feet by evening, blood pressure that won't stay put, or a doctor who's told you to keep an eye on your kidneys. That glass of milk may look harmless. It may even feel like one of the healthiest things you do each morning. But for some people over 60, especially those already watching their kidney numbers, the wrong kind of milk can quietly add more work for the body. And here's the part most people never stop to consider. The problem isn't always milk itself, it's the kind of milk you're drinking, and what may be hiding inside the carton. Many older adults drink milk because they've heard the same message their whole lives. Milk is good for your bones, milk keeps you strong, milk belongs in a healthy breakfast. That message has been repeated for decades, at home, at school, in commercials, on cereal boxes, so it makes sense nobody questions it. But your body after 60 doesn't handle everything the same way it did at 25. Your kidneys may still be working, but they may not filter as quickly. Blood pressure may run higher. Blood sugar may not stay as steady. Your body may hold on to more fluid. And minerals in milk like phosphorus, potassium, and sodium may matter more than they used to, along with protein, sugar, and, in packaged milks, additives. That's what makes this tricky. There's usually no sharp pain, no obvious warning sign. You just keep pouring the same glass every morning, in your cereal, your oatmeal, your coffee, believing you're doing something good. Then one day a blood test comes back, your creatinine is higher, your doctor starts talking about eGFR, and you're told to watch phosphorus or potassium or protein. Suddenly you wonder, could something I drink every single morning be adding to my kidneys' workload? This isn't about scaring you or saying all milk is bad. It's about helping you look at milk a little differently, because if you're over 60, especially with kidney concerns, high blood pressure, diabetes, swelling, or shifting labs, choosing the right milk may matter more than you think. Think of your kidneys like an old coffee filter. When it's new, water passes through quickly and everything flows smoothly. As it ages, it still works, still tries, but it takes longer and strains more, and if you keep pouring too much through it every single day, it eventually gets overwhelmed. Milk is not just a white drink, it can carry phosphorus, potassium, sodium, protein, sometimes added sugar, and in many packaged milks, especially some plant-based ones, phosphate additives. For someone with healthy kidneys, that's rarely an issue. For someone over 60 whose kidneys are already under pressure, it adds up. Here's the simple version. Phosphorus is a mineral your body needs, but when kidney function drops, it becomes harder to clear from the blood, and buildup can affect bones and blood vessels. Phosphorus doesn't only come from natural foods, it also comes from phosphate additives added to packaged products for texture, shelf life, or flavor, and these are absorbed more easily by the body than phosphorus from whole foods, creating a bigger burden. So if you see calcium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, dipotassium phosphate, or any word with phosphate in it, don't ignore it. Potassium is another one to watch. Your heart and muscles need it, but too much in the blood can be dangerous, especially for heart rhythm, and high potassium often doesn't announce itself until a blood test reveals it. Sodium is the third, tied closely to blood pressure and fluid retention, and it shows up in more packaged foods and drinks than people expect, milk included. And then there's protein, not the enemy, genuinely necessary for muscle and tissue repair as you age, but for some people with kidney disease who aren't on dialysis, doctors may recommend managing intake, since breaking down protein creates waste your kidneys have to filter. If you are on dialysis, your protein needs may actually be higher, not lower, so this isn't about cutting or adding protein based on a rumor, it's about matching it to your own labs, kidney stage, and your doctor's advice. None of this is medical advice, and no milk cures kidney disease overnight, but daily choices, repeated over time, genuinely matter. Let's start with regular cow's milk. For most people it's simply part of life, in cereal, oatmeal, coffee, before bed, comforting and familiar, especially because it's so strongly tied to bone health. But if you're watching kidney health, it's not as simple as it seems, since it can carry a meaningful amount of phosphorus, potassium, and animal protein. Picture your kidneys as an older warehouse worker, still showing up every day, still trying. One box isn't a problem, but the same box arriving morning after morning, year after year, eventually wears him down. That's what a daily glass may become for some people, not poison, just one more load, and when the kidneys are already tired, even small loads matter. If your doctor has mentioned watching phosphorus, potassium, or protein, it's worth asking whether you actually need it daily, what your current numbers look like, and whether a different milk might be easier on your body. Next is flavored milk, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. People rarely think of it as a problem because, well, it's still milk. But the real issue is usually the added sugar, and after 60 that deserves more attention, especially with diabetes, prediabetes, insulin resistance, or high triglycerides in the picture, since blood sugar that stays high over time damages blood vessels, and the kidneys are full of tiny ones. That sweet milk feels like a treat, healthier than soda, maybe even marketed as nutritious, but your body still registers the sugar and your kidneys still live with the consequences. Imagine cleaning your kitchen spotless every night, only for someone to sprinkle a thin layer of sugar across the floor each morning, barely noticeable at first, but eventually everything gets sticky and harder to manage. That's what daily added sugar can do over time. If kidney health and blood sugar matter to you, the rule is simple: unsweetened, not less sugar, not real chocolate flavor, unsweetened. Third is plant-based milk with phosphate additives, and this one surprises people most, because switching away from cow's milk feels like an automatic upgrade. Almond, oat, soy, cashew, rice, flax, plant-based milks can genuinely help, but plant-based doesn't automatically mean kidney-friendly. Some are fortified with extra minerals, and some contain the very phosphate additives mentioned earlier: calcium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, dipotassium phosphate, hiding behind labels that say, dairy-free, calcium-rich, heart-healthy, clean, natural. The front of the carton sells comfort, the back tells the truth. Don't let a picture of almonds or oats make the decision for you. For kidney health, the label matters more than the trend. Fourth is high-protein milk, protein shakes, and meal replacement drinks, a genuinely confusing category, because protein matters more as we age. After 60, many people start losing muscle, feel weaker, struggle to rise from a chair, worry about falling, and muscle isn't just about looking strong, it's about staying independent, carrying groceries, keeping balance, recovering from illness. So the appeal is real. But if you have kidney disease, these drinks shouldn't be used casually, no matter how reassuring the marketing sounds: build strength, senior formula, complete nutrition. Processing protein creates waste products your kidneys have to filter, and for someone with reduced kidney function who isn't on dialysis, a daily high-protein drink may add real extra work. Again, balance matters. Protein isn't the enemy, and dialysis patients often need more of it, not less, since it can be lost during treatment. The goal isn't to fear protein or chase it based on a commercial, it's to match your intake to your actual blood work, kidney stage, and doctor's guidance. Ask before adding one of these drinks to your daily routine. The good news is you have real options, as long as you choose the right version: unsweetened, no phosphate additives, lower sodium, simple ingredients, and suited to your own needs. The first is unsweetened almond milk, one of the easiest to find anywhere. But it isn't automatically good for your kidneys just because it's popular. Some versions are fortified with extra minerals, which may be fine for some people but worth a closer look if you're managing phosphorus or potassium. Don't choose it because the front looks clean. Turn it around, check for added sugar, phosphate, and sodium, and pick the simplest version available. Sometimes the plainest carton is the safest one. The second is unsweetened rice milk, often overlooked next to trendier options, but it may be worth considering, since it's frequently lighter in phosphorus, potassium, sodium, and protein, though every brand differs, so the label still decides. Picture cow's milk as a heavier bag your kidneys carry each morning, and the right rice milk as a lighter one. Your kidneys still have work to do, but the load may ease. It's also usually lower in protein, which can help some people managing protein pre-dialysis. But some brands still add sugar or fortify with extra minerals, so the rule doesn't change: unsweetened, no phosphate additives, and even a lighter option shouldn't be consumed without limit. The third is unsweetened flax milk, which may support more than one goal at once. Flax contains alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 often discussed for inflammation and heart health, and after 60, heart and kidney health are deeply connected, like two old friends sharing a house. When one struggles, the other feels it. Flax milk is often low in phosphorus, potassium, and protein when it has no phosphate additives, but again, some versions are sweetened or loaded with sodium, so the name never decides, the ingredient list does. The fourth is unsweetened cashew milk, which tends to make people nervous. Aren't cashews rich in fat and minerals? But kidney nutrition isn't about judging a milk by its name, it's about the actual serving: how much phosphorus, potassium, sodium, protein, whether there's added sugar or phosphate additives. Some unsweetened cashew milks come in lower in phosphorus, potassium, and sodium than cow's milk, and are often lower in protein too, which may help those managing protein before dialysis. Cashew milk may also carry unsaturated fats often discussed in heart-friendly eating, relevant again because of how closely the heart and kidneys are tied together. None of this makes cashew milk medicine. It doesn't cure kidney disease or replace your doctor, but as part of a broader healthy routine, and only in the right version, it may be gentler for some people. So now there are 4 better choices: unsweetened almond, rice, flax, and cashew milk. But here's the real lesson: none of them is automatically perfect. One carton of almond milk might be a great choice, another might be full of phosphate additives. One rice milk might be simple, another loaded with sugar. The real question isn't which milk is best, it's which milk fits my body, my labs, my blood pressure, my blood sugar, and my doctor's advice. Next time you're standing in front of a wall of milk cartons, don't let the front label decide for you. Don't choose just because it says plant-based, calcium-rich, or natural. Just turn it around and take 10 seconds. First, look for added sugar. Be careful if you have diabetes, prediabetes, or blood sugar that's hard to control. Second, look for the word phosphate in any form: calcium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, dipotassium phosphate, and don't ignore it if you have kidney concerns. Third, check sodium, especially if you deal with high blood pressure, swelling, or puffy feet at night. Fourth, check protein, particularly with high-protein milks or meal replacements, making sure the amount fits your kidney condition. And finally, look at the whole ingredient list. Is it short and simple, or does it read like a grocery receipt? Remember, the front label sells, the back label tells. Here's a gentle 7-day plan, nothing strict or extreme, just a way to become more aware. Day 1, take the milk you already have and simply turn it around and read the ingredient list, without judgment. Day 2, check specifically for added sugar and ask if you really need that version. Day 3, scan for the word phosphate and note it if it's there. Day 4, at the store, compare your usual milk against an unsweetened almond, rice, flax, or cashew option, choosing by the label, not the name. Day 5, pay attention to your body: swelling, nighttime bathroom trips, blood pressure, thirst after dinner. Day 6, if you track blood sugar, notice whether anything's shifted, and if you have kidney disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, take medication, are on dialysis, or your doctor has discussed creatinine, eGFR, potassium, or phosphorus with you, talk to them or a renal dietitian before making bigger changes. Day 7, choose one small better habit, not a perfect one, just a better one. Maybe a milk that fits you better, a lower sodium breakfast, or simply reading labels before you buy. That's often how kidney care actually begins, not with fear or a dramatic overhaul, but with one quiet moment, standing in the grocery store, picking up a carton, pausing, turning it around, reading the label, and making a slightly better choice. Small and steady, repeated after 60, adds up. Your body has carried you through decades: work, family, stress, illness, joy, hard seasons nobody else saw. It doesn't need fear now. It needs kinder, steadier care, a better glass of milk, a little less sodium, a blood pressure check you don't skip, a label you actually read. You don't have to fix everything today, just begin with one choice better than yesterday's.